Hello and welcome. It's Kosh here at Granite City RC, and seeing as it's been raining since I got my excavator, I might as well do something other than twiddle my thumbs. So I've drawn some random pictures of stuff which should be enough to make a set of Grizzly bars. For this I think I'll probably need glue gun, drill, some drill bits, also nipped down the shops and got more fantastic chipboard and a load of metal rods. So it's a 15mm chipboard. I think these are about 6mm diameter, 1 meter lengths of some sort of rolled steel. Doesn't really matter for the whole project. I have a plan. Whether it's going to work, we'll find out, because this is kind of me building as I go on camera. But I'll get things marked up, show you what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. Oh, you're probably going to need a saw as well. Not this saw, I'm going to use a jigsaw because this saw is useless. So I'll run over the plans quickly anyway. I should be able to cut everything out of one length, which was 750mm long, I think is what I planned. But anyway, we'll have two side sections, a front section, and a couple of supporting bars put across it as well. I did read somewhere that for Grizzly bars you want it between 45 and 60 degrees, and I thought, trying to remember back to maths, that it's around 60 degrees in a 3, 4, 5 triangle. So that's roughly what I've got on top there. Turns out that's about 53 point whatever degrees, so that's fine. The sides are going to be 300mm by 500, then we come up 100, which then leaves us the 4 height from that point, if you're wondering where I got that from. Okay, so what we're going to do, as far as the plans say, is I want to cut this, say, to about 600mm, which leaves me a 100mm rise. Then there's the start of the triangle, which is going to be 400mm itself, so that takes me 60 to 50, 50 down to 10. And then that's where the angle would stop, so that gives me the 10 on the bottom edge as well. Sorry, it's a bit hard to get it all on screen there. So as I said, 10 up from that bottom edge. If you imagine it's going to cross over up to 50, 10, and that will leave us the triangle with that base end as well. So I'll go ahead and mark this up at 600. Put a couple of marks on it so I can get it accurate, or as accurate as I guess I need to be for this. So 600. It's handy to have something like a good ruler or a set square so you can. Where's the mark? Where did I put that mark? It should be. That's it, yeah. So then you can get a good straight line across everything without fear of messing it up. But normal rule of thumb is measure twice, cut once, so make sure that I am at 60 there, 600mm, 60, yeah, so that should be the length. I guess what I'll do is I'll mark up roughly where everything's going to come out, so that's 500 there. little line across there as well. We're not going to cut this one, it's more for putting the angle in, so I know where things start, things end. Plus I'm probably going to paint over it at some point, so it's going to cover any working out that we've got. Okay, bring this end down and we'll do the same. We've got 100mm, 10cm. Oh yeah, there you are. Just there. Just there. That's going to be the finishing point. So, one, I need a bigger ruler, but in theory we just draw a straight line matching there. That's going to give us 2 equal sides with 100mm base to it as well. So I'll find something bigger than this that I can draw a straight line with. Okay, found something, the offcut of wood itself. So if you're getting wood cut in a store and the guy asks, do you want the offcuts? Say yes, keep them, because you're paying for the whole sheet anyway, so why give them something they can sell at a lower price, because you know it might come in useful. So that's going to be the main sides. So this line we're going to have to cut, this end we're going to have to cut. That's going to leave us a little bit of room to play around with. Memory serves, just get my tape. It's going to be 10 high, just like the bottom parts of these. So measure up and mark at 70 each side. 70, which is 700mm. Sorry if you use inches, like I was taught metric, so that's what I'm going with. Plus I get confused over the 8ths and 16ths and whatever else to do it in. That's the wrong side of the tape measure to me. So 2 sides, that's going to be the base. Front. What? S1 for side 1. S2 side 2. I think I'd originally planned for strips of about 25mm. 2.5 centimeters, so I'll mark them on there as well. So 72.5. Got a mark in there. I'll do one at 75, I guess, as well, or 750, to give us 2 pieces. I'll probably get another 1, just about 2. Well, I can get 2 out of that now. I should only need 2 supporting pieces for what I'm thinking. Okay, so the final couple of pieces to mark up, and that's us. We're ready for cutting. Line up there. that up there. Okay. Just put SP on there for supports. So I know where I'm cutting, which is that line there. I'm just going to do that on those ones just so I don't accidentally cut it the wrong bits. Okay, I'll just double check my measurements and then get everything cut up, and we'll come back and I guess try and assemble it. Okay, so I've got my pieces cut out. I quickly mocked them up to see how everything was going to fit together, and I think what's going to work better for me, it's going to give the structure a little bit more support. Instead of gluing something onto a flat surface, I'm going to cut off the edges here. I've marked up 460 each side. So what's going to happen is one of these cross members is going to sit actually on top of the support itself instead of being glued onto the side. So I'll try and show that a bit better. So it's going to sit on top of something instead of glued on, where it's not going to hold as much weight, whereas the side supports are going to carry the weight down across the whole piece. So I'll get the ends cut off both pieces and I'll come back and carry on. Okay, so I have the ends cut off here, so now that will sit basically on top there and supports the back with its weight being supported by the side itself. But whilst I was cutting those off, I ordered some Dean's plugs connectors, so they've arrived. So eventually when I swap out the smoker for extra room for a battery for the excavator, they'll come in handy. Right, we'll get this glue gun heated up and we'll start getting this put together. Okay, this glue should be about hot enough now. Just give myself a bit of space. So yeah, we're literally going to be gluing it straight to the top. It's got a bit of an angle. I'm going to possibly do it this way then. Yeah, that should be okay. So, good bit of glue there. This stuff you want to use pretty quickly. It sets pretty quick. Watch out for the hot glue, obviously. So that's that one glued on. The good thing is it's only glue at the moment, so if anything goes wrong, it's a bit easier to kind of take apart. Glue this end as well, so I'm getting in the way a little bit. Good bit of glue. Trying to work quick there. Just trying to roughly get things squared up. Okay. So that's the main frame there. Bring this round. So what I've decided on is that was going to be glued to the front and that part glued to the top there, and then I'll figure out the rest and what I need to do. So quickly glue up this front edges. Try and get it even on both sides. So you've maybe got like a second or two to play with it, but not a great amount of time. I mean, I might eventually end up putting in a couple of screws once I've got it figured out and tested to see if it actually works as is. Just to strengthen up little bits here and there. Okay, so go ahead and glue this last section in place. That should be okay there. We'll get this glue turned off. I'll give that a little minute to set whilst I start planning the next actions. Okay, one more thing I've done, let's get the camera, is I've marked 10mm in from this edge and marked a line across everything there. I think for the top what I'll do is I'll put a line, still plugged in, I'll put a line across that centre bar there, just in the middle instead of off centre like this one. Okay, so next bit I guess is figuring out where we're going to put these, and obviously these rods are too big at the moment, so I'm going to measure centre way, should be 50 centimeters, 500mm, just cut in half, little hacksaw, that shouldn't take too long hopefully, and then we'll start planning on where we're going to put it into the main frame itself. Okay, so for cutting the metal rods, all I've done is measured one, wrapped a bit of masking tape around it and marked the middle. So all I need to do now is line up the ends, roughly mark middle is, mask this one off, reset it there, and we can mark roughly the middle here as well. At least we know where we're cutting to now. Saves you measuring everything up each time, just mark off the middle. And back to the manual labour. Okay, so I've mocked up roughly I think where I want to put the bars. There's two which I'll figure out later because I'm going to have to recess the top maybe a little bit because I'll use them to reinforce the sides so they don't get damaged as much. So this was 15mm chipboard, OBS, whatever you want to call it. So I'm basically coming in 15mm and then 30mm spacing for each of the holes, and I think that kind of works out roughly the same each way. Brings it to about 45, 25, 255, yeah. So I think that's going to work. Obviously set it up however you want. This is just me trying to build one in the space of a day, well not even a day, just an evening. Haven't come up with the plans yesterday, but I'm gonna figure out drilling some holes places. I'm probably not going to drill all the way through in the bottom. I'll just drill enough to sit the rod in and then glue it into place. I think that will work out better for what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just putting in a few little pilot holes on the 3cm marks. Just so it's easier to make sure everything's lined up. So I've got pilot holes drilled at the top as well. I don't know if they're at the right angle, but it's at an angle. So hopefully that should work. I'll quickly drill these bottom ones a little bit wider. That's roughly the angle. So I should do a little bit of an angle with this. I'm sure there is a proper way of doing this, but I'm just going to eyeball it. That should make it easier for the bigger drill piece. I think I've made it 7mm. These I think are 6 or 6.5 diameter, so it should give it a little bit of room to play about with. So we'll do this. Keep things on screen at the same time. So again, I don't need to go all the way through, I just want enough of a lip for it to sit into. That should be fine, just a couple of mil really. Because I'll be gluing it into place anyway. Just make sure that the rods won't jump out once they start getting used. I'm not doing it to any great accuracy, just what's going to work for me. So if something else is going to work for you, you do that. But thought I'd at least try making this and letting you guys see how it's done, or how I've done with it. And hopefully we can get it to use with the excavator. So basically I'm going to do the same process on the top. It's easier for me to do that off camera. But we'll cut back once we've got that and try and fit the bars through. Okay, so we've got our holes drilled. You might need to wiggle the drill up and down a little bit to get it roughly at the right angle. And that's sitting in there quite nicely. I'll do this from the top down and start to see what it's going to look like. So that's actually coming together pretty nicely. Right. A little bit of adjustment on that last one. Oh, that actually works pretty nicely. I'm going to have to try and put that to the test at some point. I've not even glued anything in. I might glue the bottoms, but that kind of feels pretty solid. I'll maybe reinforce the inside joints. Maybe pop some screws just in the fronts and then the top to hold that in place as well, but I'm pretty impressed, and as I said, I might glue on the sides as well, but yeah, that's that's how you build a trommel. Not a trommel, a set of Grizzly bars. The materials for that cost me about £19–20. Took one evening to plan. It's taken this evening to build. I mean, I could modify little bits and maybe put in a right angle, maybe some aluminium right angle on these edges, because then that will protect the wood itself. But I mean, as I said, I thought I'd need about 5 of these, but I think forward getting there, and as I said, I could attach the others to the edges as well to help guard the wood. But yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye now.